I heard that they had the best biology program in the state. I checked out Platteville too because they had a pretty good biology program. I was thinking of going pre-veterinary, but I changed my mind after job shadowing for a vet and decided it wasn't for me. But still wanted to work with animals and learn about biology. I mean, it's all I've ever. A while ago, I took a lot of classes. My favorite professor would have to be Dr. Mark Ponsky. He's a psychology professor. He teaches behavior and learning, canine behavior and other learning-based stuff, which I really like the idea of training animals. He also is a dog trainer himself, so I got a lot of focus of my love for dogs and learning how to work with them and train them from him. I also really liked Dr. Rosenfield. He was my ornithology professor, and I also learned a lot what I need for my job from him. Beyond that, Jody Lewis was my research professor, so I did my research with her for cognitive memory in mice. And Isabel Gerard, who I don't know is here anymore, for biology. She was my advisor for biology, and I did some research and training with her. It's actually a funny story. This is pretty much as close to a dream job as I could have asked for. I mean, it encompasses everything that I loved about school, everything that I loved about animals and wildlife into one job. I get to do research on water quality with how bird droppings affect water quality for beaches. I get to train and work with my partner here, Bree. That's a good girl. And working with a working dog is amazing. If you've never had that experience, it's hard to describe, but it's a lot like pride in a child, but not really, because they're more like your equal partner. I mean, she does most of the work. I kind of just tell her what to do, but so I got a lot of that, and just my love for learning in general. I mean, I still kind of wish I was back in school a lot of times because I miss taking classes. Don't spend too much time screwing around, and make sure that you have your financial aid under wraps. That was my biggest stressors. I had to skip out on a couple of neat internships because it was either work the summer and get paid, or it was take the cool internship. So make sure you have your finances under control so that you don't miss out on those opportunities. Especially, I would have loved to study abroad. I heard that was a really great program with some of the professors here, but I didn't get a chance to do that either. And yeah, don't spend time screwing off. I know you gotta make friends and you gotta go out and you gotta have fun, but study hard, because once college is over, then the real world sinks in, and if you don't find your dream job, then you got a long way to go. I work for a company called Wild Goose Chase, Migratory Bird Management, and what we do is we use trained canines, border collies in particular, to move nuisance birds, so geese and gulls mostly. We do a lot of parks, golf courses, school campuses. We also do Chicago Bears practice field. We do Chicago Botanic Garden and the Morton Arboretum and the Harley-Davidson Museum. So we do a lot of that stuff. Our focus is mostly on humane management, so moving the birds to a more natural location without actually killing them. And what Bree does is she pretends to be a coyote, which is one of the geese and gulls' natural predators. Hey Bree, what's sleeping? And she has this border collie behavior called giving eye, which is why we use border collies. And what they do is they get into a crouched position and they stare down the livestock for herding purposes. Well, we just have them do that to the birds, and the birds feel like they're being hunted. So after the dogs walk up on them and chase them, they end up just leaving, and it doesn't take them very long to realize that it's not a safe place anymore, and they don't come back. A lot of our properties that we do used to have hundreds of geese on their properties, and now we find ourselves lucky to find a few geese there a couple times a year, because the fun is working the dog, and if there's no birds, we don't get to do a whole lot. More particularly, I have about 5 titles with my company. We're a small company, and everybody has a lot of responsibility and a lot of opportunities to grow and learn new behaviors. I do research, I do trade shows, I do window strikes, so when birds hit windows and die, we do that for our clients. We determine the number and type of species and what's causing the window strikes and help them mitigate it. We also do any other type of nuisance birds, starlings, turkey vultures, sparrows, and pigeons. So if they're roosting in a building, their droppings are filled with a lot of bacteria and it can actually make a lot of people sick. And some of them can get kind of aggressive. I spend most of my springs getting attacked by birds, which isn't dangerous, but it's not a whole lot of fun, that part. I still maintain some contact with the professors that I mentioned before, and I know that their students in ornithology and canine behavior and that kind of thing would probably be interested in a job like mine where they get to work with birds or dogs. So it seemed a natural fit from using my connections to spread the word that we were going to be here and see if we can get some interns or some new employees. Also, because this school is still the best natural resources school in the Midwest, it's still one of the best biology programs in the state, if not the Midwest, especially for a state college where you don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a degree. So it's pretty much a perfect fit for us if we can find people who are willing to either relocate to Chicago, Milwaukee areas or people who already live there and are just coming to school up here.